welcome to RJ Angling. So today I'm going to have a little look through at the Surfblaster 2 7000, give you a quick review and my thoughts on it. I've been using it for about 4 or 5 months now. I've used it at least 20 or 30 times and I've come to my conclusions about it. So I'll take you through some of the features on the Surfblaster now. As you can see, it's quite a pretty looking reel. You've got obviously the golden bail arm, titanium body, and then you've got your black features on the spool, on the handle, and I'm sure straight away you're noticing these marks here, and that's just general wear and tear. I always use a tripod with this rod, or rod wraps if I'm fishing from the pier. You see all the dinks on there, and that is because this is a so-called graphite body. It's plastic pretty much, and paint just sort of flicks off quite easy just on impacts there. Yeah, you can see around the edges, but it hasn't affected the structural integrity or anything, so that's alright. So we'll start off up here. We'll start off with the bail arm. As I mentioned earlier, you've got a nice gold bail arm. It's a manual only, so you've got to flick it back over every time, and that doesn't bother me at all. I like a manual bail arm reel. Take a look, talk about the line that I've got on there. I've got 15-pound Tronics Axia. As you can see, it's slipping away. It's a new tapered shock leader, so it hasn't got the memory out of it yet, so it tends to fly off the spool. But that is a Rovex tapered shock leader, 18 to 70 pounds. I've used them before, seems nice. I've got them in this sort of fiery orange colour. My god, does that reel hold a lot of bleeding line. I wish it came with a braid spool, because I quite like using braid, but I'm not really a fan of using it with a backer, so I thought I'll just fill it up with a load of mono, chuck a shock leader on it, because it's a lot easier to use a 50 or 60 pound braid all the way through and not have to worry about a shock leader. And there you are, that's what I've got on there. We'll have a look at the spool. As you can see here, forged aluminium. Look at the capacity a little bit later once I do the specs part of the video, but it holds an unholy amount of line. Let's have a look on the side. Nice panel in here. They're sturdy bolts. It's a very good construction here. You've got your line clip-ons there, and this reel is a 5BB. Oh, there we are. It's a 5BB reel, which is quite decent for under 100 quid. I got this in a cheap combo bundle for Christmas, and it was I think gained 120, and that was with a Penn Rampage as well in the Boxing Day sales. You can see here the wear and tear on the body. One of my concerns a little bit is just using this anti-reverse lever here. It's a bit flimsy. It seems like quite cheap plastic, and I feel like if that was dropped in the wrong way, then that could potentially come off quite easily. So there is that to think about. Move on just over here. Obviously you've got your real seat mount. Nothing really much to say about that. Seems to be fine so far. Go through the handle. It's a nice shaped handle. Grips quite easily in your hands. See, there's a nice little bit of pen writing on there. You see some dinks. Oh, I believe this is a die-cast handle. Quite heavy handle, but with a reel as smooth as this for the price, you can't really complain. So yeah, that's your overview of the reel. It's quite a nice, pretty reel. And now I just want to go over a few of my thoughts about it. I think so far it's a brilliant reel for the money. For under 100 quid, I think it's the best reel you can get for surf casting, beach fishing, off the pier, whatever really. The only thing I've got a nag about with it is this plastic, the way it dinks off the paint. It just makes it feel a bit cheap, and there's also the weight of the reel. I'm not a fan of the weight. It's an absolute ton of bricks once you've been holding that for a while. If you've had a good cast and you're reeling in something big, it does start to get you, especially I'm using a Penn Rampage 2 with it, and that's quite a heavy rod, but it definitely gets the work done, this reel. Definitely. I like the design. I think it's quite elegant, really, for a reel. One thing I didn't mention when I was just giving you the overview is, you know, there's a nice wide spool. That definitely helps with your cast. It's not as wide as some of the Achios reels, but gets the job done. As you can see, it does look really nice. Got all the sort of light orange writing all over the body. Yeah, so I'll go and let you look at the specs in a moment, and we'll be able to get the weight on it. I believe it's 700 or so grams, so it's best part of a kilo. Probably is a kilo once you've got the line on there. That's bollocks, isn't it? It's not a kilo once the line's on there. It probably weighs 800 or so grams once the line's on there. Just let you have a look at it from a few more angles.